Hello and welcome to the Backwards Compatible podcast feed. Today we're doing a little different show. It's going to become a new series and it's going to be run by me, Paul. It's called Why Should I? Basically, I'm going to be asking guests to tell me why I should either read a book, watch a film, play a game, listen to an album, anything they want really. It's just them trying to explain about the things they love, why they love them and why they think other people should enjoy them just as much as they do. So today I'm joined by John.
Hi.
As many will know, he's the other main founder of Backwards Compatible and also one of the main writers on the site. Today we're going to be looking at the PlayStation 4 release, Infamous Second Son. So, John, firstly, just to make sure, so you're obviously it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and how soon did you get the game from release?
Not immediately, actually. I was sitting on the fence a little bit, really, because of the mixed reviews. I mean, everyone was saying how pretty it was, but how it wasn't anything revolutionary game-wise. But I think I was seduced by the graphics. And I had a little bit of cash lying around at the end of the month, so I bought it. So I got it on digital download, actually. I didn't buy it on disc.
So that was actually going to be my question, but you've already stolen from me. Wonderful.
Oh, what's that? Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask about why you then eventually dipped, but we know that now, so that's fine. So you bought it from the digital store.
Yeah.
What was the price difference? If you don't mind me asking.
About £2.
Oh, okay. So not really at all.
Yeah, I mean, I use Amazon Prime, so I never have to worry about the delivery cost, because that's usually the only difference, isn't it, in digital, if they're really similar in price. But I thought for £2, that's these are about a quarter of a pint, isn't it, really? So I thought I'd get that, and I actually ordered it remotely through the PlayStation app when I was abroad, I think, if I remember rightly, or I was away somewhere. So that was fun. So I got back home and it was sitting there on my hard drive, which is the magic. It's magic. It's like we're in the future already. It's amazing. So
it's quite a nice touch, actually. Just the fact that it's already downloaded, even though of course that means you have to leave your PS4 on, which is a bit.
No,
annoying.
you don't have to leave your PS4 on.
As in standby.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not. When you say standby these days, every item is on standby, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really sure I'm causing the end of the earth by doing that, but
Yes, that's fine. So, what's your history with Infamous, as in the franchise?
I bought and played the first one, which I really, really enjoyed. And I'm unfortunately not one of these people that will play a game over and over again. So I played it once, and never thought about going back and playing as the evil Cole. Because I just couldn't be bothered to play the same game over again. Some people can do that. I can't really, because I have less time to play games. Then Infamous 2 I own, but to my shame I haven't played it yet. It's sitting on my hard drive. I think it was a PS Plus game a while back, wasn't it?
It was, definitely.
And I almost aimed to play it before Second Son came out, but I never did. So I think it'd be a real issue going back and playing it now, actually.
So, with playing as the good Cole instead of bad Cole, if you'd have had time, just say you had a week off, do you think you would have actually gone? Did the first game enough draw to bring you back into it? Is what I'm trying to say.
Not really, no. And I don't know how that compared with Infamous 2, but from what I hear about Second Son is it's not just a matter of a binary tree branching for each bad and good choice. I think the bad choices in Second Son have apparently, I need to play it and find out, have more of an impact on how the story changes than the original ones. If that makes sense.
That leads us quite nicely onto Second Son. So what did you like about the game?
People have been knocking the story. I mean, I think the story, it wasn't anything of the standard of The Last of Us emotionally. And Delsin, the main character, is a bit of a dick, to be honest. Still, he's kind of like he's like if you mixed Drake with Banksy, and gave them superpowers, really, because he spends the whole time jumping around, painting. You can go into the game and around the area, just like in the other two games, there are lots of collectibles. So the shards that give you extra power-ups, and then there are missions that you can go and collect, catch spies who are past the story. But one of the collectibles around the map, or missions you have to do, which are separate from the story, is spray painting designs on the walls, and they're all reactionary art, like Banksy does, against the DUP, who are the baddies of the game, the ones who are kind of tracking down all the conduits. I mean, the story pretty much is basically the X-Men, or the X-Men series of mutants versus the normal people. But these pieces of artwork, it's quite nice. You turn the controller sideways, so you're holding it in your hand, one hand upwards rather than across, and then you shake it. That's a really dodgy action, isn't it? You shake it, and then what's really cool is because the DS4 controller has its own speaker. As you shake it, you hear that rattly sound you get when you shake a spray can.
Yeah, from a mark from the ball inside.
Yeah, and you then use one of the shoulder buttons to spray the paint on, like a motion control. As you hold the controller and spray on the wall, it sprays in real life. And you've got some stencils and you plate layers on. And every time you spray can, you get unlocks and things. But it's not a major feature of the game, but it seems a bit strange that it's kind of disconnect where you're being chased by bad guys, or you're knocking past people, and suddenly you see this mission, you stop. You can just calmly sit there and spray whilst the police will wait for you to finish. You go, yeah, you missed a bit. It's very nice. Be at the corner. But actually, that and jumping around with all the powers was fun, and you kind of got the story which keeps you going. But just being a badass, as they say, and jumping around and having lots of powers was great fun. And again, unfortunately, boring old me, I played the good guy again. So
you said there was a slight disconnect with the can thing. Is that because you're using a motion control, or is that literally just because you're stopping in the middle of the mission?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, the motion control was fine. That was a nice little touch, but it just felt like it was a bit of a chore because you had to kind of. You see, well, I ought to do that. I ought to do that mission because it helps you with your progress and so on and unlocks. And I did get the point actually, which I very rarely do in these sort of games, Batman games, the previous Infamous games. I really couldn't be asked to collect everything, clear the map of all the the little on the map. You've got the little symbols, like the spray can for artwork, and then the little spy head. I actually went through and cleared everything. So if you can imagine, I've kind of half platinumed it. I've platinumed it on the light side. I've got to go back now and do all the other things on the dark side to get the whole thing. But I would imagine, if I put my mind to it, this could actually be the first ever game I platinum.
Yeah, it did seem like quite a few people got platinum in a very short space of time. Is it a natural, just you play through the story and you get the trophies, or do you have to, or are they?
There's a mixture of things.
Yeah, it's not like the Assassin's Creed collect 99 feathers, though, is it?
What you mean? You've got to get everything to finish? Well, yeah, you've got to clear the map of everything.
Oh, okay. So you do have to do quite a bit.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, I know one of those feathers in that game apparently was stupidly hard. So things are achievable. I mean, you get trophies for shooting a certain number of guys in the head, or you get a number of trophies for using this power and doing it this way. And you can go through the trophy list and see what you've got to do. There are a few that are hidden that I haven't got yet. And obviously I've got to play the game again on expert mode to get that trophy. And it did feel a bit easy, the game. This is me playing it, so I'm not the best gamer. So it just
how long roughly did you spend playing it?
It was about 12 hours. Felt about 12 hours.
So to do pretty much everything in 12 hours, so you're looking at
2/3 of everything really in 12 hours.
So that's not too bad. So do you feel your purchase was worth it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I could probably go back and spend another 10 hours in there playing the story through again on the bad side, and because obviously, like the other games, if you play down the good side, good strand, your power unlocks. You only get the good powers, the nice boy powers, and then you've got to go back and as you play as the bad guy and take all the bad choices, then you can unlock the evil powers, which I can't get to at the moment. The shards won't unlock them.
So when you were making your choices, were you making them explicitly because you wanted to fill up the good side?
Yeah.
Or were you making your choices because that was the thing you would have chose?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I read an article about this a few years ago, but I am one of those people that always takes the good side. I find it very hard to be nasty in games.
But what? Okay. put yourself as Delphin, you said?
Delsin.
Delsin. If you were Delsin, would you have taken all the same choices that you were made in the game?
Yeah, because, I mean, it's not a spoiler because it's near the beginning of the game, but one of the choices is the antagonist is questioning you, Delsin, and try to keep it fairly spoiler, and you have a family member near you, and the antagonist starts to torture the family member, and you've got a chance to save this family member, or you can just say, nah, F off, lass, I'm looking after myself and not you. So you can choose to help her at your own sacrifice, or you can choose just to leave her. But of course, making a sacrifice in video games is much easier than making it in real life. No. Most of the choices I thought, they sit well with me. Going back and doing the hard ones will be tricky for me, and I'm going to have to go. For instance, in a good side, if people have fallen over, you go up to them, press triangle, you heal them, and you get unlocks for that, or you get progression for that. If you're the evil dude, you don't heal them, you kill them and get unlocks for killing them. So the game really does push you down a certain avenue.
Little slight tangent. When you played Mass Effect, did you always play as a Paragon then?
No, actually, Mass Effect, in some cases, I was quite happy to punch the reporter in the face. And actually, I felt like it was kind of if there's a sliding, like a swing armature between Paragon, and what's it, Paragon?
Renegade and Paragon.
Renegade, yeah. Like, maybe my swinger was nearer towards the middle of those two than one side, because I did choose some Renegade choices and some Paragon. But I think by the end, I had enough Paragon, because you couldn't get through a certain part without a certain amount of Paragon, could you?
I don't think so.
I was one of the lucky ones that right at the end of Mass Effect 3, on the final mission on the big ship, none of my team died on the first go. And I hear from quite a lot of people that some of their team members died. I think that may be to do with how much blinking mining I'd done to get the big laser, but also because I was using the app, the app which had the mini game in the app, you could earn extra points as well. With the Second Son, it was very much I had never tried going down a good route and then a few bad choices. It would be interesting to see how that works, actually. I mean, you know how good or bad you are because the back of your leather jacket, your denim jacket, has a logo on it. It's quite cool. And the logo is two eagles, a red and a blue eagle. And as you get better, the blue eagle starts to dominate the red eagle.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you get like descriptions of, defender, and then friend to the people, and it goes up to sort of a patriot, and then hero, and then like sort of perfect hero. I can't remember what they are, but you get in and then the blue parrot gets better and better, until eventually you can unlock loads of cool different designs for your denim jacket.
So in terms of choices, do you think it was? Obviously it's Infamous's design, but do you think that the two choices is a bit too binary, a bit too simple?
Yeah. Well, yes, probably are, but I would say there's a caveat with that, because I never tested what happens if you choose two good and then one bad and three good and so on. So I'd have to play it 3 times. I'd have to play it through again as the bad dude, and then play it again, fudging my choices and staying fairly neutral to see what happens. I don't know if it affects the ending, but it does affect. There are certain missions in the game where you have sidekicks, like escort missions. They're not as crap as the ones in Infamous 1 and 2. They're much more interesting, and I think depending on your choices you make affects how your sidekick you're with behaves for that mission. If that makes sense. But I would imagine each mission or whatever you do is all about gearing towards leveling up and getting your powers and getting bigger and badder.
Okay.
And the powers are brilliant. They're really good fun.
And that's something. So let's divert into that one. Yeah. So obviously, I think you have. Obviously, in all the games, you've had different levels of power.
Yeah.
What are the main powers in this game?
Well, I would have to tell you. I can only tell you a couple because it was. Well, what am I saying? It's the game's out. I could say the whole lot if you want to, but it would spoil the game to know all the powers. That's the only thing.
So you don't get them all at the beginning.
No, I mean,
do you start off powered at all, or is it just?
Again, that's part of the story. So
so we'll leave that alone. There's no need to spoil. This is not labelled as a spoiler cast, even though we did spoil Mass Effect 3, which we apologise about.
Oh, it's been out for long enough now.
Although, I think there was enough news coverage at the time that nobody really needs to.
I think I'm a bit of a hypocrite there, because a lot of people could say so about Game of Thrones, and I got very annoyed about that this week as well. But
we won't go into that one.
Yeah.
But yes. So to sum up, is this worth you buying?
If you like a game where you're a superhero and you can bounce around a very, very pretty city with lots of cool powers, and you're not so fussed about a deep, interesting narrative, because the story's all right. It's it's better than the other two story-wise. It looks really nice, and actually, I've actually felt like I wanted to collect everything, which is a first for me. So I think of the three, it's the best of the three. But it's not a revolution it's not a system seller. It's not a revolution in gaming. And I would, if you're on the fence, I'd wait until it's discounted or on a special, which it probably will be eventually. Probably on PS Plus in a year.
I was about to say, because 1 and 2 both were. But a bit of an unfair comparison because they are different price games. I know you've been playing Metal Solid Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
Which one would I choose if I had a PS4 right now?
Infamous Second Son.
Okay, thank you. That's a round up from there. You can catch up with John on Twitter via his Twitter handle, which is
@JohnPR_Evans.
And obviously I'm Wellbeing Osteo, and catch up with all the news from the site, including reviews of games, comics, books, TV, films, lots of rubbish coming onto things, and lots of good stuff as well. Sorry, I shouldn't have said rubbish. Basically at Backwards.com. We're also on Facebook, just search Backwards Compatible, and also on G Plus as well. So, any last one?
Well, I think it would be lovely if you clicked on subscribe as well to the YouTube channel.
Of course, and of course, anything you'd like to leave, any feedback on iTunes and any other ways you get your podcast from, because I don't actually use iTunes. I have an Android, so I don't like that Apple stuff.
Stitcher as well. We should be on Stitcher very soon.
So any of those things that you would like to click on, please just leave some feedback. And thank you very much. And thanks very much, John. And we'll be catching you again at another time.
It's been a pleasure.
Goodbye.
Bye.